What is going on, everybody? You already know it is Saturday night. It's the coming back, the return of the Atomic Drop. Of course, my name is Paul Spencer. I am joined by the legend himself.
I am the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry, and I am back, I guess you could say that. We're back in the old wrestling. And, of course, as always, we are with our good friend here.
You know it. It's Larry, BL Black Lightning Burke, here with some of my favorite guys. And, yes, we're back on the Atomic Drop. Oh, I love this show.
Hey, you know what, Larry? It's kind of crazy. We got the part-time marks here, and I'm going to use your catchphrase. It's time to mark about it. So let's bring the Atomic Drop, the part-time marks, and let's mark about it. Let's talk about wrestling. Let's talk about Smackdown. Let's talk about this. Let's open this up. Cody Rhodes, of course, opens the show. But Larry, first, at least we didn't get the Uso coming out for 20 minutes to yeet. Yeet. You already know the yeet. At least we didn't get that. Did our night start out right with that?
Started off perfect for me. That was the minute I heard Cody Rhodes music. I usually don't get too excited when I hear Cody Rhodes. I'm not like everybody else. I usually don't, but I heard Cody Rhodes music instead. I didn't go right to the yeeting, so I was like, yes, let's give it a break. Let's give it a break.
Okay, are you done with the 20-minute yeet of Jimmy coming out Jay coming out with the 20-minute yeet promo for the opening of every show since? Are you okay with it, or are you against this?
Is he with us?
Anybody that's ever checked out the Atomic Drop in the past, am I good?
There you go.
Anybody that's ever checked out the Atomic Drop in the past knows my feeling on the yeet. I hate yeet. If you're going to throw 20 minutes of yeet in my face, I hate it. So I am glad with SmackDown, no 20 minutes of yeeting. And I'm not a big Cody Rhodes fan either. I could do without the whole, like the way the crowd reacts to his music, but I get it. It is kind of catchy or whatever. But as long as he ain't there yeeting for 20 damn minutes. I mean, like it used to drive me nuts with Seth Rollins with with his song and stuff. It used to drive me insane. But it doesn't compare to the yeet. The yeet is just straight up obnoxious for me anyway, personally. And I guess I'm not a 12-year-old girl either. So, but yeah, I was glad we didn't have the 20 minutes of yeeting.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was a way to open our show. Cody Rhodes comes out, he's talking, he's giving his little promo, and who comes out? Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre comes out. What did you guys see with that? Larry, I'll start with you. How did you feel when Drew McIntyre interrupts the American Nightmare, during his little promo speech here?
Well, yeah, I was wondering where he was going to go with it right away, because I'm like, well, why is Drew here when I'm already expecting Solo and everything, you know what I mean, to pick up from where we were last week when Solo obviously attacked Cody. So I was kind of like, where are we going to go with this? But we're right back where we are. Drew feels like he's been another person has let him down, screwed him over. So he obviously wanted to come out and address it as well. So it started off and it made sense. Good, solid promo.
Gotcha. Ken, how do you feel about, Drew McIntyre?
So he's making his presence felt. You got to give him some credit there. I mean, I'm a big Drew fan. The whole crybaby Drew gimmick thing going on or whatever that he's kind of getting pointed at in his direction. It's not far off. And that's another thing that's getting kind of old. The woe is me. Like, everybody's done me wrong. But I'll tell you what, later in the show, I did get a kick out of him talking to Jimmy Uso. Kind of tell him like, you got to look on the bright side. It's kind of like chipper
Mhm.
Drew McIntyre because he's in the chamber and Jimmy's career is kind of going in the opposite direction. That's what he's saying anyway. So it sets up a nice little feud there. But yeah,
Exactly.
it's of course Drew has to interrupt somebody. You know what I mean? It's Drew's thing now.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he's the crybaby role, the interrupting. It's we have to have it no
I
matter
love
what.
it.
It's I love it too. Exactly. I agree. But then then another guy comes out there. Let's talk about Jacob Fatu. I mean, let's talk about the werewolf. When the werewolf comes out, he is like my yeet right now. He is like my energy drink when I see him come out. The shaking. I just love this guy. Ken, I'll start with you. How do you feel about Jacob Fatu coming out?
It was a little bit of a surprise for me. Jacob Fatu is like a super wild card right now. Like you feel like when you see Jacob Fatu out there, one, he could beat anybody, he could dominate anybody, and two, you just don't know what the man's gonna do. He's off the hook. He's a wild card. He's a straight up wild card. Like when you say wild card, that's what you picture now. He is the Samoan werewolf. It's you just don't know what's gonna happen when he comes out there. And Drew wanted no part of it, man.
Yeah, I mean, how fast did he leave, Larry? Did you see how fast he bolted out of that ring, huh?
Oh man, and that's what I was gonna say. That was like the perfect example, Ken. But you calling him the wild card because I don't know if you guys caught on to this last night. That crowd loves him. Right now, I think WWE, everybody in the back's looking around like, what are we gonna do? Because he's damn near a face. The music hit, crowd goes nuts. He says Fatu, they all follow with him. He's at a major, like I said a couple weeks ago. He's just he's only been there a couple months now, but it feels like it's like he's just been doing this. It's like it's just another day in the office. I never seen anybody come into the WWE so far and just make the microphone look easy, the in-ring work look easy, and then like you said, oh yeah, he turned around, no sooner he seen Solo and said, "Hey man, we're gonna have to have a discussion."
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about this real quick. Solo pulls up and Fatu goes wild. What was your first thought, Larry, when Solo pulls up in his little ride out there, dressed in all white, the Miami Vice color, all white looking, Don Johnson, get up here. The look on Fatu's face, man. Like I thought it was just like he said, all gas, no brakes. I thought he was going to pull a can of whoop ass on Solo as soon as he found him. How did you feel?
Oh yeah, like you said, that was the first thing I noticed. First, his facial expression. I'm like, oh shit, something's about to go down tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you said, then Solo gets out the car in that cocaine white. Oh man, I thought it was, the old Scarface, the old Scarface white, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually a good color for Solo. Like I like this right now. And I'm like, where are we gonna go with this tonight? And then he instantly he tells Cody, like, I mean, you can have words with him, but I need to have words too.
Yeah.
He does. He got some. He wants to know where you've been these last couple weeks. You just left and didn't say anything. Mm-hmm. And like you guys said before, he's as when they kicked Jimmy out of the bloodline. They said there's repercussions for losing. So he had some questions. He had some questions he wanted to go ask Solo. So I was like, this is going to get intense. And you see, they just whoever was in their sight on the way to Solo, they were taking him out. So I'd love to see where this is starting to go now.
Mm-hmm. Ken, how'd you feel about that when Solo bolted out of the car and the werewolf, it became midnight, the lights were off and everything. Here comes the werewolf looking for his next victim of prey, I guess you would say.
And I'll tell you what, it's you. He had that look. Larry was right. He had that look. It's like, Solo's ass is in a little bit of trouble there, and he bolted back. Like he said to Cody. He said, Cody's like, I want words with him. I need to have words with him too. And he's like, well, I'm first. Kind of a family. It's almost like family comes first kind of thing. Well, I need to figure, where he's been, what's going on. Leaving us high and dry, basically. And one of the things I thought was really interesting when he did get to the back and he did confront Solo, Solo, grabbed him by the arm. Then when he walked away, he's like, Jacob, I love you. Like, just like, he used to, I love Solo, or Solo, I love you, however he used to say it. And, I was waiting, like, is Jacob going to say it back? No, he didn't. So he just walked away, and that was that. And I kind of felt bad for that backstage fella there that got destroyed by Jacob. He thought he got away clean because who was it? Was it Tonga?
Tonga, yeah.
Yeah, he got to the guy first. The guy was already scared to begin with. If he would have checked his pants, they're probably wet. And then he kind of got away. Tonga left him. Tonga. He's like, okay, I'm all right. Then all of a sudden, just freight trained by Solo. I was like, damn, not Solo, by Jacob.
Did you see the look on Tonga's face when Solo grabbed Fatu and said, "I love you"? Tonga's face looked like the redheaded stepchild. Like, what about me? Like where's he fit in with this? Because he gets no love from anybody right now. I mean, Fatu's over the top. Solo is still considered the leader, and he's trying to get in good grace with the werewolf. And Tonga's left out like the redheaded stepchild. Like, Solo, what about me? I'm family too. Like that look on his face was priceless. Like, oh shit, what about me?
Yeah, he kind of hit him with the like, what about me look, but you could tell he's more loyal to the other side.
Yes.
So he kind of was. Everyone's kind of looking at Solo now, like, man, we were counting on you and you let us down. So now it's kind of like you might have to fall in line with us now.
Yeah,
like, I think that's kind of what it looks like now because he's like, I'm gonna have his back. I think the last thing you want to do is turn on Jacob. That's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, he's the wrong one to mess with. I'll tell you that. Eddie texted, I thought Solo's ass was going to be grass when the werewolf is a damn lawnmower. I agree. It could have gone so many ways, but like when he walked in the room and Solo was just sitting there, and he like Larry said in the cocaine outfit, pure Don Johnson white there, with his head down. I'm thinking like it's going to be a sob story here, and everything is going to go on. How's the werewolf going to play this out? Because just like Ken said, he is the wild card. Anything goes with this dude. He creates his own storyline as we go on any event or any show we're talking about. But, let's move on to the first match here. Opening up, we had Naomi versus Chelsea Green. Ken, you got that little look on your face. I mean, how do you feel about this one? I'll start with you.
I'm a Chelsea Green fan. I like Chelsea Green. Nothing against Naomi. Naomi's really good in the ring. I think you just don't get that feeling of her. Like, I don't know. I don't like when I see her wrestle. I can watch her wrestle. Okay. But I never get that feeling like I'm excited to see her wrestle or I want to see where she goes with this or anything kind of, But when you see Chelsea wrestle, you just get a little bit more excited, whether it's the comedy or sometimes she does some really crazy stuff in the ring. And I was kind of bummed that Chelsea didn't pull it out and Naomi won. But it also sets up a little bit of Naomi and Bianca Belair kind of potential, face to face in the chamber. Now that they've both qualified, so it's. They're building towards something. I want to wait and see. They're building towards something. I was kind of bummed that Chelsea didn't get in there. It was a good match. It was an all right match, and it is what it is. It is what it is. They're building something. That's why I'm just gonna leave it there. They're building something. I'll let it go. So
well, Eddie agrees with you. He said the wrong person won. His money was on Chelsea. That's where he had his money. That's why Vegas knows the lines there. That's why we lost that round there. But Larry, how did you feel about this? Naomi, how do you feel?
I actually kind of figured Naomi was going to win this one just because, they're starting to open up more of the story with the Jade thing, as they also showed again last night.
Yes.
And Chelsea's already a champion. So I feel like it's more of that, all right, let's build more toward this other story right now. And like I said, I was actually, like you said, I'm a big Chelsea fan. Naomi the same. I like Naomi. It's just there's always something that's dry about her. I don't get it because she has the energy. You know what I mean? She has all that stuff. It's just like, I don't know if it's just so repetitive or whatever it is. And I mean, it just seemed like they were a little bit off last night. Everything they kept doing, it was just like, I think it was actually, and I hate to do it, but to blame it on Chelsea. And it's not a bad thing. It's just like sometimes she oversells. So when she was overselling going into the next move, Naomi was ready to go to the next move, and they were kind of missing each other, and they were kind of just like off key. And I mean, it's just like her overselling. It wasn't like she was just blotching stuff. So it just kind of made the match just a little bit iffy. And she missed her. She went for her finisher, the Impaler there, they're unprettier. And she kind of slipped at the end, but Naomi still caught her. I mean, there was definitely still some good stuff in the match that I liked. but yeah, I think they're really starting to build toward that Jade situation, obviously, which later in the night they brought that out, and I guess we'll get to that at some point.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I wonder, like you were saying that Naomi, you feel like sometimes like just something dry about her. And I wonder if that's something that maybe WWE recognizes, and obviously we don't know yet where this is going to go, the storyline with Bianca, uh, Naomi, and Jade, but you have to figure that Naomi has a big part in this. So are they going to turn her heel? Which I don't know. I can't remember the last time we really seen her as a nasty heel. It had to be back when she was in WWE before her return, back when she was during
the cheerleaders with the
yeah.
cheerleader thing. Because she was originally one of the Funkasauruses, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was a Funkadactyl or whatever.
Funkadactyl, yeah, Funkasaurus.
But so I wonder if they recognize as her being dry and say, you know what, we need something hot for her to kind of make her character pop a little bit more, because she has a look, she has the in-ring ability, and it's just there's something about it, just it doesn't click at all with the viewers, with the crowd. It's okay when she comes out glowing and all that stuff, okay, but then you get into the ring and it's good, but it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's maybe that they're turning her heel, like having her be like a nasty backstabber, or backstabs Bianca by getting rid of Jade, and they so then you have Jade going after Naomi, and maybe Bianca going after Naomi, or you have Bianca turning on Jade, saying, you know what, I've been with Naomi for a while now, we mesh better. You know what, Jade, go do your own thing. I don't know where they're gonna go with it, but I feel like they recognize Naomi as being dry, and they could be throwing her a bit of a creative bone with this whole Jade who attacked Jade scenario. Because I tell you what, she looks like she's gonna drop a dookie in her pants when they had cell phone footage. So I don't know if you guys I was watching her face when the GM, I can't think of his name right now, the GM was saying that they had cell phone footage. Like, really? Oh, okay. So,
and then she looked real close.
Yeah, exactly.
She did look real close, like let me see. And then even her response was like, I told you it wasn't me. Everybody's saying it's me. Like nobody ever really accused you of doing it, other than you just now. No one's ever fully accused her outside, the internet world. Us guys, nobody's ever really accused her of doing it. So when I heard her like, see, it wasn't me, I'm like, well, if that wasn't almost the most guiltiest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, to me, I'm old school. Yeah. To me, I'm old school. If we're sitting there, all three of us out, and one of my friends say it wasn't me, I'm looking at that person saying, now I think it was you. That's just the way we think, but that's the storyline that makes you think, just like Larry, you said, the internet people, we look at it a different way. The storyline goes, but we look at the out of the box, inclinations of what's going on all around there. Eddie Tech says, I can't remember the last time Naomi was really over with the crowd. I mean, what do you think her angle is, being now part of the final Elimination Chamber with Bianca? What do you think her role is here? I mean, she can't be the obvious winner. She cannot be, correct? No way.
I think it's to set something up with Jade. I think that could be the return of Jade, where it comes out either that day that Naomi did something, or she comes out and confronts her at the busts in the cage or whatever, because they build her up to be a huge muscle person. So she busts in the cage and she says, I know it was you, I seen you, and or whatever, and then it kind of goes from there. I think that's the only reason why Naomi is in the Elimination Chamber, and that's what I think anyway. I don't know how else it goes from there, but
Larry, give me the facts here. Let me talk about it. Let's talk, Mark, about it. What is the angle here with Naomi in the chamber?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking there's something going to maybe happen during the chamber. Like, I don't know if it comes, like I said, maybe it comes down to Belair. Maybe there's 3 people left or something. And, then the TV screen changes. And then, there's the real actual footage now. And that just slows the whole match down in the chamber. Now everybody's looking at this screen. And you see that it was her that probably, pushed her into the windshield or whatever it was. Now Belair's looking at Naomi like, yo, you really did this? Then she gets over on her there. Then, like you said, then that sets up for Belair at Mania Belair probably wins this Elimination Chamber. That's what I'm thinking. And then she goes on to Mania, and then you get Jade and Naomi. Yeah, somewhere in the mix of there too. I don't know if it's not a WrestleMania match.
So,
Okay.
here's something quick for you guys. Something for you guys to kind of mull over and think about. What do you think if it was actually Bianca? Maybe Bianca was a little bit jealous of the attention Jade was getting. Jade was the hot new thing coming in, power, and, she's getting all sorts of attention and, the muscles and whatnot. What do you think if it was actually Bianca?
She couldn't do it. She was in the ring when that situation happened.
Okay. Well, maybe it was on tape delay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's been a big thing because a lot. We start. Because it's been so many weeks now. A lot of people started to think that as well.
Yeah.
Like, well, Belair, and I'm like, well, no, because Belair was wrestling when this happened. So it's kind of like that couldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But who knows? Like you said, maybe there was something that happened earlier, but. How long was she laying on that car if it happened before anybody found her? You know what I mean?
Eddie says Bianca and Jade is a Mania match, and also Ken, he agrees with you. He says tape delay because I think Bianca is the guilty party.
If she is like Black Lightning here was saying, that it has to be. She had to be laying there for a long time. I forgot that Jade was even, or Bianca was even in the
ring. Yep.
In the ring, wrestling. So, but you never know. Like it's wrestling. You know what I mean? It's suspend your disbelief or whatever that.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, let's move on to something else here, Larry. Before we get to this, this scenario here, this little segment, I want to take this back because Ken's been out for a while from the Atomic Drop working. So with all the family things going on with his kids and everything. Ken, I want to put a little story together real quick. You, me, Dave Yarnell, and Larry, we all go to an event, okay? I go there and I start drinking a little bit. I get out of hand. I start running my mouth. I get jumped and I get my ass kicked, okay? I get my ass kicked right by the ring right there where we're all chilling. Kenny, what is your first reaction? What are you going to do? Are you going to stand there and watch me get my ass kicked, or are you going to help me out and, bail me out with the big man coming in, some clean house and kicking ass?
Hey, we boys, right? I'm in there, y'all. I'm in there. So
Thank you.
We're going down together.
We're fighting.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because Dave, have fun in down Atlantic. Happy Valentine's Day, you and Amanda. We get you down there. Have fun down there because Dave said it was okay for Sami Zayn to sit back and watch KO get his ass kicked. And I said to Larry, thank God 2 years ago, Ken, when I went to Payback with him, that I didn't get into it because that son of a bitch would have sat there and watched me get my ass kicked. He would have not had my back.
I think he's doing all right. I think he's doing okay. He's sitting there holding him like a baby. My God, I don't think he's doing all right.
No. We had that big thing, kid. On the part-time marks, they talk about it. I talked about it with them as well. That's my boy. You know what I mean? I understand, Cody's your boy too, but KO goes 20 years deep in this relationship. That's my boy. I'm not going to let my boy sit there and get his ass kicked. But which leads me to the next segment. Okay, Sami Zayn comes on, sitting there. I don't know if he's in a hospital bed. He's sitting at home in the lazy boy recliner. My neck is really bad under the guidance. So, WWE, I really shouldn't wrestle. I don't know when I'm going to be back. He says his thing. KO a little bit later pops on his little rampage saying that, hey, you know where to find me. Let's go. Toronto. I'll be there. Hometown. Let's get it on. How do you feel about this? What side are you guys on?
Oh, KO is right. KO is right.
Yes.
The only thing I'm a little upset, I wanted this for Mania, but I get why they're doing it in Toronto. They're both from Canada. I was just like, these two deserve a main event match or a big match at WrestleMania, but I get it. Give them a big match in Toronto. They're going to tear the roof off the place. We've seen it. Who knows how many times, but like you said, it's something that'll never, ever get old. And they're going to tell a great story and they're going to beat the living shit out of each other. I can't imagine. I just feel like they need to add a stipulation to it, but it's going to be hard with 2 elimination chamber matches. You don't want to get too many gimmick style matches. So maybe this will lead into something bigger, hopefully. But KO is right. KO is right. I can't ride with Sammy on this.
And he says, Paul, don't run a check that your ass can't catch. Hey, listen, I know what I'm worth, what I know I can handle. I am not getting out of hand when I can't, handle my business. So that's why I know my limits. So yeah, especially with your Dave, I ain't drinking at all. Put it that way. Okay?
But Larry, I agree with you 100%, man. I mean, like, it's a tale as old as time. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fighting each other and then becoming friends again and then fighting each other for all the way back to El Generico and Kevin Steen days. And that's what I'm pulling for, man. I'm pulling for, like you say, Mania. How cool would it be to see Sami Zayn come out with the Generico mask on and then them just, going crazy with ladders and tables and whatever the hell else they just like. I posted a couple of those videos to our private chat for the Atomic Drop, and just some of the stuff that they used to do. Absolutely wild. Sammy and Kevin, back when Sammy was El Generico and Kevin Owens was Kevin Steen, is Kevin Steen. I think that might be his real name. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Kevin Steen, yeah. Mm-mm.
So
those are great. Same with us on the part-time marks. We've been posting a lot of their match. Some of them has been. I mean, those matches were pure gold. Like I said, it's probably the best. It's probably the best ladder match I've ever seen outside of WWE. And that's both of them. That's when they was a tag team going against the Briscoes and going against each other in just the basic ladder war matches. I mean, those are dog fights. And those are, your best wrestling matches always come from best friends because they know you could just go out there, kill each other, and we're not intentionally trying to hurt each other, but I know what you can take, you know what I can take, you know what I mean? And it's gonna be a banger.
They've been working with each other for like 25 plus years. They know each other, so that's why it makes it so good.
It could steal Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It absolutely could steal the show. Elimination, absolutely, because if it happens there, because it's the whole Sammy neck thing. But I mean,
and that's why I said I would even have waited just a little longer just to make it to WrestleMania. But hey, I'm good with Toronto. You guys take it back home. They're probably going to let loose on each other back home. So it's probably made just for Toronto.
Oh, you know that crowd is going to be super hot for it, man. They're just going to be there's they're going to juice everywhere. I mean, that's disgusting, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's going to be hot. That crowd is going to be hot for that match.
What kind of match would you like to see if it does go down in Toronto? Sami Zayn and KO. What kind of match would you like to see? Would you like to see a 2 out of 3 pinfall, a street fight, TLC, whatever you want to do? What kind of match would you like to see? Because it's going down in Toronto, just like you said, Ken. It's going to be, let's go Sammy, let's go KO. It's going to be one of those type nights where it's going to be a 50-50 blend of fans.
But it's not going to be a regular, regular match. It's not going to be a time limit match or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like old school. It's going to be a brawl. I don't know if it's going to be a street fight type. There's going to be some sort of stipulation or gimmick. It's not going to be a loser leaves town match, but it is going to be something like a no holds barred or something like that. I wouldn't expect a two falls out of 3 because I don't think they'd make it because they just kill each other for the first fall. So
maybe a last man standing. Maybe
something like that. But usually the last man standing matches are saved for a bigger like main event for a standalone, a smaller pay per view besides the chamber. Like Larry said, they already has it. It's already a gimmick pay per view, so it's hard to add another gimmick in there. But I can't picture them wrestling without a gimmick attached to it. There has to be like no DQ or something, because they can't go out there and just beat the shit out of each other and not get disqualified for it. You know what I mean? There has to be. I don't know. What thoughts, Larry, on that?
Yeah, I would assume it's probably just going to be like a no disqualification match, but like the end game, like one of my good friends, our buddy Josh. I always call him my earpiece. He said to me what he would really like to see, and it's stuck in my mind, something that just adds a little something. That the end-all be-all match for them, I would like to see a last man standing inside a Hell in a Cell. So you get the 2 for the 1, and then they'll beat the hell out of each other. I mean, regardless, and then you get the Hell in a Cell. Who knows what they would do? So,
but if that happens, that has to be a WrestleMania event. That has to be the WrestleMania. Yes.
The end game. Yeah, just I would think in Toronto probably they probably just say it's a match and then it just ends up being just a no disqualification.
Gotcha.
I don't even think they'll tag it.
Well, let's continue to move on here. We got some tag team action. You know, Motor City Machine Guns defeat. Larry, you guys are high on this team here. You know, what do they call it? I keep messing up their name.
Man, I always say it wrong too. Los Garza.
Garza.
Los Garza, but it's like Legado del Fantasma.
Legado Fantasma
as a whole.
Like that.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Yes, I every time I say it, I'm like, I'm like, I can't even tweet about this. Voice recognition, don't even read it.
But just as the two, they're just slow.
Did you freeze, Larry?
Oh, I thought I was waiting for him to say something. I thought maybe.
Yeah, I think you froze there. I think you froze there for a second.
Yeah, as a whole, though, it's the Phantasma Gang or whatever the hell they want to call themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, the Motor City Machine Guns they're super hot too. They work great together. Former tag champions, they held it for a little bit there. Overall, it wasn't a bad match.
You back, Larry?
There he is.
Yeah, there you are. You froze up on us, man. You froze up on us there for a second. Yeah. I know we got like 6 inches of snow today. That could be a lot to do with it as well. But yeah. But there, you finish up.
Yeah,
Ken was to speak about him. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
good.
Go ahead, Ken.
All right, yeah, all right. A great match. It was a good match. I mean, not great match. It was a good match. I thought. You know, the Los, whatever the hell they are, Garza something or others, the Phantasma bunch. You know, they're again luchador style, so they're fast. You know, crazy ass in the ring. And the Motor City Machine Guns have been together, you know, for a long time as well before WWE. And you know, since they've come in, they've been super hot. You know, former tag champions. So it's overall there's a good match. You know, Motor City Machine Guns winning. That's what I expected. You know, I haven't really seen anything that would tell me otherwise from the Phantasma Gang, the Fantastic Fantastic Gang, or whatever the hell they call themselves.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four. They're the one that nobody wanted to see. I mean, like, yeah, I haven't seen anything where I would have thought for a second that they would have beat the Motor City Machine Guns. It was kind of inevitable, but here's kind of you knew it was going to be a good match. It's going to be a smooth, you know, fun match to watch, and that's exactly what it was. You got your high spots, and it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Larry, what about you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be, and like you said, I am a big fan of those guys because of their selling. I mean, like you said, and their tag team work. Once they got away from them original gimmicks that they came into WWE with them, I mean, one was like a Power Ranger at one point, and the other one was like ripping his. And I'm just like, nah, these guys got talent. Now that they're collaborated together. And you're right, you didn't really see them beating the Machine Guns, because they're brewing this whole tag team division over there right now on SmackDown, which is really good. I mean, I'm really happy with the tag team division. That's just the thing with me. The Machine Guns, they were made for WWE 15 years ago, to me. Now they're dry to me. It's just they remind me of just two great wrestlers. They're just two great wrestlers going through the motions, and it just doesn't seem like it picks up with the WWE crowd. Now, if they would have been doing this 10, 12 years ago, the crowd would have been like, "Oh my God, there's something special." It's just they're just like two regular guys to me in the WWE. I mean, I totally get the talent, but I mean, like you said, great fun match. It was what it was. Great selling, and you know, MCMG won. So yeah.
Gotcha. Well, let's move on to a guy that's close to my heart. You know, the Asian people here. Let's give the Asians some love here. Let's talk about one of my relatives, Shinsuke Nakamura. First, I just want to talk about his entrance. Are you a fan of his new entrance? Or do you want the harp playing for, a minute and 30 seconds? Which entrance do you like better, the new school Nakamura or the old school, the debut, the orchestra playing, the whole 9 yards? Ken, what do you think first? Because I'm a big Shinsuke fan.
I love Shinsuke too. I like the old school music. I remember the first time I seen Shinsuke wrestle on the main roster, and that intro was freaking on fire, man. They had the dude out there playing and stuff like that. I thought that was one of the greatest entrances I ever seen. You know, and I could be just overstating it, but I thought it was really awesome. I thought, and every time I hear it, you know, dun, 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 you know, and you know, at minute 30, you know, it didn't carry on like Seth Rollins or whatever. I really dug it, you know, and the long drawn out whatever the hell it is, violin harp. I don't know what the hell it is. I'm not an instrumental kind of guy, but I like the old one. I like the old entrance, and but I like the new Shinsuke. So it is what it is.
Larry, what about you?
Yeah, I'm the old entrance guy. I mean, obviously the newer music fits the newer Shinsuke.
Yeah.
The newer Shinsuke just doesn't do it for me. Because this is more of his Japan style. So he's tapping into the you know, what he was doing over at you know, New Japan. So it's kind of it's just not sitting right with me well right now. It's just I love that they do that's what I didn't like about last night. They're giving them the microphone again. And they have to stop giving them the microphone. They need to keep doing the vignette videos, the anime style videos where they were hyping them up. They need to stick more to that because that's keeping them off the mic. You know, because I've been seeing people complaining on our Marks page all the time about how he hasn't been wrestling, how he's not good on the mic. And I'm like, it's not that he's not good. I mean, he just doesn't speak English that well, number one. And I mean, he does a lot more of his storytelling with his facial expressions. So his facial expressions tells a lot of the story. But with so much of the paint on, you're not getting the facial expressions as much anymore. So he's kind of just in this. They got to do something with the U.S. title right now. The U.S. title is like it's floating, and I mean, and I hate to take away, but it's been going downhill since LA Knight got it. You know what I mean? Because he was so good building up, and then he got it, and then it was like, ugh, it's sleepy time now.
Gotcha. And he says the new entrance is the right choice for the heel Nakamura, and the old entrance is the babyface Nakamura. I agree 100%. I completely agree with both of you. I'm an old school Nakamura guy. The music was just so catchy to me. You know, reminds me of like the Japanese violent harp. I don't know, like you said, Ken, I don't know what it is, but it just reminds me of that. But when I see Nakamura come in last night, I'm thinking like, why is he wearing like the Shogun mask coming into the ring here? You know, and Larry, you just said it perfectly. The facial expressions. I speak Japanese fluently, and I'm thinking like, oh, that really doesn't match what he's really saying. You know, 100%. It's like, you know, I want to beat your ass, and then he says, you know,
he looks like Super Shredder. He looks like Super Shredder.
Yes, exactly. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here. You know, like Raphael and Michelangelo's going to come out next or some shit. You know, because the first thing he said in the ring, he says is, "I'm here and hello," is what he actually said in Japanese.
Is that what he said?
English. I'm like, well, dude, you didn't say that shit. You know, like,
you're lying.
You're lying, Shinsuke. You're lying. All these American people are buying into. You're lying, brother. I know what you said. You know, but yeah, I agree. But let's talk about LA Knight comes out there, you know, and takes, you know, rightfully spot there and says, "I'm next in line." And then the Miz comes out. You know, what is his name? Adam Pearce, or what's his name? What's the GM?
Nick Aldis.
Oh, Nick Aldis. He makes the match between, you know, the Miz and LA Knight. LA Knight wins. How do you feel about that match? And I want to ask you at the end, where we talk about the Miz after he used defeat. Is LA Knight the right fit? They're not going to take his title. Larry, I'll start with you because you said, you know, it's been dry since.
Yeah, I'm going to say no because I feel like we're just going to spin back to the same situation we had. And I think they have a guy right now that I think they can pull the trigger on. And I'm thinking it's Jimmy Uso.
Wow.
Because Jimmy's not in the J tier, but he's in his own tier. And he's funny. He's got the mic skills. The crowd's behind him. He's playing like he understands he's a face, but he's still kind of playing like a little dirtyish. But I think that's where the switch needs to go. I think they need to find a way to get Jimmy in on that because, you know, like he said earlier, Drew saying Jimmy isn't getting any big spots right now, this, that, and the third, and Jay's getting all this spotlight. So this would be kind of the time to, bam, pull the trigger on. I would love to see Jimmy and Jay both holding singles titles after WrestleMania. Just them two, you know, one world champion, the other one the U.S. champion. I think it will be a special moment for both of them.
Gotcha.
I don't think they should go to LA Knight route right now. I'm just little dry. It runs up too fast. Too much of a gimmick.
Ken, what do you feel about the LA Knight situation?
Yeah, I agree with Larry there. It's almost been there, done that. We've seen it already. It's dry. I thought the Miz and LA Knight, their promo there before they got the match, it was kind of flat. Like the crowd wasn't digging it. And so
20 minutes. It was so long.
And if I'm the big wigs there, I'm watching this. I'm like, you know what? Nobody's really digging this. We need to figure out another direction. And I like the Jimmy direction. Me personally, I think Jimmy's the better Uso. He's not as athletic as Jay. He's funnier. He's more charismatic. He's better on the mic. He's just not as athletic. I mean, so I think Jimmy. I like Larry's idea with Jimmy at least getting a shot at a single title to kind of put him in relevancy because he should be a relevant character.
I kind of agree with that because Drew McIntyre, I believe, backstage says something. You're not what your brother are. You're just a yeet, no yeet type of guy. You haven't won anything. You're like the stepchild of the Uso brand here. So maybe this is the right time to bring him out and say, you know what? Hey, I'm the United States champion here. Why not? Right? Maybe it is the right time. Maybe it is the right time. Okay.
And maybe he takes what Drew said to heart and he goes up to Nick Aldis and say, bro, listen, bro. Yeah, bro, come on, man. Give Jimmy some love here. Maybe he does that. Maybe he confronts all this. I want something with a little bit of relevancy to it, and maybe he gets that shot. And maybe the new bloodline or whatever the hell they call themselves, maybe they ruin it for him. I don't think so. I think they're going a different direction. But I feel like he should get that opportunity to show what he can do because it's time for Jimmy to shine.
Yeah, it really is.
Then how does he work his way into it? If he goes in there and say, "Hey, I want a shot here." How does he get that shot? We still have 2 months to WrestleMania. It's not going to happen in an Elimination Chamber, I don't think. Later on down the line, does somehow he interjects in a match or something, and somehow becomes a triple threat with him, LA Knight, and Shinsuke?
I don't know.
Or they're just going to wait for the winner then.
Yeah. I think they would try to do it on like a SmackDown or something. I don't think they would try to do it because I already think we're starting to build towards some other triple threats for WrestleMania, and you don't want to get too many of those. So because it kind of looks like maybe we're getting Roman, Seth, CM Punk possibly. So you don't want to get too many of those matches on the card because those triple threats are easy to fumble up. You know what I mean? They're very, very easy matches to fumble.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd figure at some point he goes to Nick like, yo, I deserve a shot too. Like, give me a chance to prove myself. And he goes out there and he beats somebody. He's like, you know what? Yeah, we'll give you a match. And I definitely think that's the route they should go. Like you said, Thank you for saying everything that I say about Jimmy every single day. I argue on the internet about Jimmy, and what pisses me off the most is Jimmy's the one that started saying yeet first. He did this 3 years ago. He used to come out. He had the black hoodie that said yeet. He was doing this first.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it just happened that obviously, he had the DUIs. He was getting suspended and all that in the middle of that time. So Jay just took his opportunity and he ran with it, as he should.
But last thing I want to ask you about this match here, we have John Cena on his farewell tour. Are we almost to the point where The Miz is going to have his final farewell? Because where does he stand in all this anymore? To me, losing streak after losing streak after losing streak. I get all that now, but he's not even that funny anymore, as Ken said, and I agree with that too. It's just long, drawn out. Where does The Miz go from here?
Basically, he's almost like an enhancement guy right now. He's a veteran that has legitimacy because he's been in it so long. He's won, multiple titles. Whether it's tag team, whether it's world championships. I don't know if he's a Grand Slam winner or not. I think he might.
Yes, he is. He is. Yeah.
So I mean, like, says he has that legitimacy behind his name. He is. His whole career. He's been great on the mic. It's just, kind of been falling flat lately. So he's there almost like as an enhancement kind of guy. And I wouldn't be too surprised if sooner or later we kind of see him step away for a really extended period of time to kind of rebrand. Or does he kind of do something else, a side thing like with WWE, like his own little show or whatever on Netflix or you know, or I don't think he goes to the announce table. I just don't. I could see him doing it, but I just don't think he goes that route.
Yeah.
And real quick on the Jimmy thing, before I forget, I could see Jimmy facing the winner from the Elimination Chamber. I could see him interjecting himself, like saying, "Hey Nick, I need to get into this," and somebody else coming in, barging in their meeting, in Nick's office, which is like the closet or whatever at whatever arena they're at. And so somebody else barging in saying, "Hey, it's my turn," or whatever. So they have a match, number one contenders type match. And that's how you get, whoever wins the Shinsuke LA Night match, them at WrestleMania. But I think it'd be like a pre-show type thing, or like an opening match on a Saturday. But it seems like they like to throw stuff like that into a pre-show where not everybody gets to see it. Then you hear about it later on. It's like, what the hell? I didn't even see that match. Oh, it was a pre-show. I was like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah. Well, Eddie says the Miz doesn't matter. I mean, to me, I thought the rebranding of the Miz was when he was with R-Truth. I mean, some of the comical there, I enjoyed that. That's just comical Miz, and we know the legend, the comical guy R-Truth. But speaking of R-Truth, he had a match against Carmelo Hayes. I know who you are. I am. That had me cracking up. Like R-Truth, I'm him. Yes. What? No, he's him. That's Carmelo. You're. I'm like, I am so cracked up with R-Truth. I mean, did anybody think R-Truth might win this match? Because Carmelo's been on that losing streak. I mean, think about it. I mean,
no. Obviously Melo's like on his second win in a row, because they're starting to pick him up now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you notice he's getting his wins on lower tier characters.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting his ass beat by the main character. So now he's like taking advantage of, which I totally like that, because the internet was saying, they were saying he's being wasted, and I'm like, no, he's not. I'm like, they're actually putting him in top tier matches. You can't expect him to win these matches, and actually for him, he should actually be very thrilled that he's into these matches, because he understands, hey, I can carry my weight in these matches, so when I do wrestle these lower tier guys, I'll get my wins. He's going to be a champion again here real soon too. No, you didn't definitely think he was going to win, and I thought it was good for R-Truth too, because that was his first match on SmackDown since like 2019.
I almost picked myself when I heard that. I did not know that when he said it was like almost 7 years in the since his last singles match. I was like, you got to be kidding. I'm thinking like, really? Wow.
Well, that's just on SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
That's just on SmackDown. But R-Truth, I mean, you got the oldest guy on the roster who never gets old. He just knows his place. It's just like the promo with Tozawa the other day when he dropped Tozawa in the locker room. Did you when he seen Jey Uso? Did you catch that promo too?
No, I didn't see that.
So Tozawa, right after he lost to Melo, he was carrying him in the back, like helping him up, like, hey man, John Cena says never give up, never give up. And it just so happens he looks up and he notices Jey Uso. So he drops Tozawa, and you can hear like Tozawa hit the pavement. I mean, he smacks the pavement. He walks over to Jey Uso. He's like messing with Jey. Like he was like, I'm happy you're king of the ring. And Jey was like, Royal Rumble. And he was like, oh, you won that too? And then he was like, hey man, you need to go check on your boy. And he just looks at Jey and just like, oh, he yeeted on himself. I got to go check on him. And he just walks away. Crowd goes nuts. There's nothing he can do that ever gets old. R-Truth is always going to be instant money. He's got a job forever. And that's going back to Miz real quick. He's an enhancement guy. I didn't want to get too far off track. He's an enhancement guy right now. He just does his job. Yeah, it's falling flat and it's not all there. But if you do need to, you can spin a title on Miz and he can carry whoever for just a few weeks or so. And he is only one Intercontinental title win away from the record. So I think that'll happen before his career is done.
Okay. Ken, what's your take on R-Truth and Carmelo?
And I was losing it. Again, like Larry said, the dude is timeless. Not to steal the gimmick from that chick from AEW. What's her name? Toni Storm.
Yeah.
Which she's I think she's super hot. Whatever. Not to get too far off subject with that one. But anyway, R-Truth is timeless. He doesn't age. He's always good in the ring. He's funny as shit, and you can't go wrong with R-Truth. And I think right now that's kind of the road that the Miz is going down. That's kind of like that's his future almost. Maybe not comical wise, but the guy put into that role where he needs to be a mean heel too. Because let's be truthful here. Miz is a better heel than he is a face. He was a good face with R-Truth, but that was mostly R-Truth. R-Truth was kind of carrying that whole tag team gimmick. Miz would just kind of interject every once in a while, but then Truth would have all these funny one-liners. So, but anyway, Truth against Carmelo, and I agree with Larry again with the Carmelo. He is getting big matches, whether they're three-way matches or what have you. He's losing those, but they're good matches. They're tight matches where you don't know which way it's going to go. And then when he does face the lower tier, the next tier down, guys like R-Truth or Tozawa, he's getting those wins. He's picking up those wins, and that's starting to build towards something. And I have no doubt that Carmelo sooner than later is going to have some sort of title around his waist. And again, back to the U.S. title.
Him and Jimmy.
Why not? Why not?
Him and Jimmy are building a feud too, like slowly but sure. Every couple of weeks, him and Jimmy are crossing paths. So that you'd probably see that again. I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
I mean, to be 100% honest with you, as much as I like Nakamura, I dig Nakamura. I would really like to see Jimmy as the U.S. champion versus Carmelo at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
why not, man? That would be hot. That'd be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
There we go. Booking matches already as we speak. There we go. I like that. Well, let's move on here. Let's talk about the main event of the night here. The princess, Tiffany Stratton versus Ken. I know you love this woman, Nia Jax. A
fine woman there.
I know. Checking in. I remember when you checked into the part-time marks, and Kurt's face when you said Nia is. Well, I forgot what you said. The badass woman. I love Nia. I remember Kurt's face. Like, is he being serious? He is very serious. He loves his Nia.
I do. I like her too.
Queen.
The real queen, right?
She's our queen. That Charlotte Flair chick is an imposter.
Well, let's talk about this match here. Of course, Tiffany prevails with a little interference on Nia's partner. Causes her the match with a little interference there. How do you feel about this? Because we're talking about what happened after. The decision and the choice. What did you feel about this match, though? I didn't think she would lose it. Of course, there was going to be some interference no matter what. So how did you feel about this match?
I'll start this one off. But excuse me. It was an all right match. It kind of went the way you thought it was going to go. There was a couple little sloppy spots, but I mean, it's so hard. She's such a larger opponent compared to what Tiffany Stratton is, and you're not always going to get the two wrestlers in the ring together that are going to have the same skill set, but they're so far apart skill set wise. Sometimes it doesn't mesh well, and I didn't think it really meshed well. But I thought they did a good job for what it was. And like you're trying to figure out how can Tiffany Stratton actually beat Nia Jax, and I could not figure out a way that she could beat her one-on-one. Like, so there has to be some sort of interference because you knew Tiffany was not going to lose that match. Because it wouldn't make any sense for her to lose that match, lose the title on a SmackDown, and after just basically winning it a few weeks ago on the what was it, the first SmackDown on USA or whatever it was.
Yep.
And so it's kind of went the way I thought it was going to go, and I thought Nia looked decent, and she looked not bad. Again, we had contrasting styles. She did well for what it was. And what is her name? Candice LeRae on the outside, interjecting herself. It makes sense. It makes sense. So, Larry?
Yeah, totally made sense. It ended just the way I thought it was going to end. Like I said, and again, I don't even, like you were saying, I don't mind the little flops and stuff by Nia and stuff like that. Because again, 3 years ago, we wouldn't have got her even attempting some of these moves. She's taking drivers now. I mean, she's doing power slam flips off second ropes. She's trying to clash with the newer style people and still be herself, which she's actually gotten more funny in the ring. If you hear certain things she says, she's even gotten like more personality in the ring, and it's just like, and again, one thing I noticed is even when she went for the Annihilator at the end, she took it completely easy on Tiff. She made sure like I'm not hurting my good friends seriously because they're good friends outside, and on top WrestleMania's coming, so she didn't want to come down and like kill her with the Annihilator. Um, I knew what the match was going to be, so I actually thought it was like a definitely a good match getting ready to go into the main event, and it ended the way I thought it was going to end. And like you said, going into that, I kind of knew there was a reason why they showed the one character just before that match. I'm like, you didn't just do that for no reason.
Yeah, that gave you the storyline. That gave you the storyline right away when the Queen, they show her watching the match, very, entailed into it. Every move, didn't even move, away from her eyes. So you knew what was going to happen. But I agree with Ken too. When you have, the Roadrunner in a match versus, the slow turtle. I don't want to say that, but I did. I did, actually. But
turtles are beautiful too, Paul.
They are very beautiful. They are. They have a nice hard shell on them. They're very beautiful. They age well. Hell, if they're 100 years old. I'm a far from myself. But I agree. I mean, you have two different technical wrestlers in there. You have Tiffany Stratton off the ropes. Back flipping. Doing all these crazy moves, and then Nia is trying to catch up in many spots. But Larry, I agree with you too. 3 years ago, we wouldn't have thought Nia would have been this far attempting what she's doing. So, credit to her. I still don't consider her the queen, Ken. Sorry. But speaking of the queen, let's talk about the appearance by the queen. The queen comes out, as Tiffany's on the ground, barely being able to breathe. She looks so damn good, even when she's hurt. I'm not going to lie. On the ground, about to die. Looks like she's, dying gasp for air. Can you hear me, Tiffy? Tiffy, can you hear me? Tiffy. And then she, says something before she drops the mic. The queen chooses you. What one line sticks in your head right there? That stuck in my head. The queen chooses you. That to me was wow. Way to end the show.
Well, not exactly. Not exactly.
That's true. True.
Yeah, not exactly, because before the queen even came out, we still had Trish Stratus.
Oh my goodness! Trish Stratus. Yes.
Let's not forget Trish Stratus.
Yeah, saves Tiff's ass.
Yeah, well, Trish Stratus interjected herself, to help Tiffy, which, you know what I mean? Obviously, she ended up getting laid out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we've been saying for 2 months now. Like, if Charlotte's in the Rumble and if Charlotte wins, it's got to be Charlotte and Tiffany. So, yeah, and I mean, I thought it was the perfect thing. Come out real arrogant, sit down in the chair, take your time. And say we choose. The build up was perfect for it. This is what we've been waiting for. So yeah, that's going to be one hell of a WrestleMania match for the women.
Yeah, Ken, what was your thought when the queen came out? Well, I want to say the imposter queen for you, okay, comes out and says her line. How did you feel? You knew which way it was going, right?
I'll tell you what, I was kind of pissed that my Samoan queen didn't lay the smackdown on her, interrupting her while she was walking out. That's what I was kind of pissed about. I was like, come on, Nia, what the hell is this?
Yeah, exactly. Ken, not to interject you, but I was thought, Nia's going to say enough with this bullshit and just kick her ass coming down the ramp. I thought that was going to happen. At least a little scuffle on the ramp before all this,
I'll tell you what I actually expected. I expected Nia to walk over, kind of arms out, kind of talking trash, and then you have Charlotte Flair kind of talk to the hand because the face don't care kind of thing. But nothing. She kind of just waited for her to walk by, then she headed up the ramp. I'm like, what the hell is that? You know what, Eddie? One of these days you're gonna find your ass in the fridge.
You talked about me writing checks my ass can't handle. Well, you just fucked up with Ken right there. I'm gonna tell you right now, because Ken is not a dude I'm gonna mess with. You get your ass kicked. I didn't see shit. Okay,
Eddie, if I find my way out there out west sometime, I'm looking you up, buddy. You're done.
What I would have really liked, I liked how Charlotte just kind of like walked past her and didn't acknowledge her. But I wish they would have did like they always do, and she would have stopped and just did the whole firework thing too. Her whole pose, the fireworks, like you're all little to me, and just continue to walk. But she didn't get the pyro. She just walked straight through. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. and I almost forgot because of all the other excitement from the match.
Ken, you're rubbing Ken the wrong way, man. I hope he never goes out to Arizona. I'm telling you right now, Eddie. If he goes out there,
I'm not even going to acknowledge that. I'm not going to acknowledge that at all. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not acknowledging that comment.
Ken, he's saying Nia is like the kangaroo jackass of the women's division.
Oh, the douchebag from down under. I know. But yeah, so I mean, it would have been perfect if they would have had Charlotte do that. If they would have had her the whole pyro thing and the kind of like well, like what do they call it? Like when a queen is out amongst the commoners, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like bow down kind of thing, like, grovel at my feet. I kind of like head up in the air, arms out. That would have been perfect. It would have been, that would have been absolutely perfect.
Just hit her with that. You're a peasant.
Yeah.
You're a peasant too. Mm-hmm. And then she keeps looking. But like I said, it was a good setup. I liked the chair. She just kept acknowledging it, and then she just walked out like, I'm better than everybody.
Larry, real quick, before, when you talk about Trish, Tiffany, what's her name? Trish Stratus there. I kind of want to go back a little bit, not too much of it, but you had the feeling that Trish was going to interject herself in a match somehow, because when they asked her, where are you going to be, coming up here? I'm not sure if I'm going to be sitting in a seat or in a suite. So you're thinking like, okay, it's going to be one of those two, but when a wrestler speaks like that in the crowd, a legend like that, you're going to make an appearance somehow. And this is where she made her appearance. Basically, what is it next week that she's going to be in it with the tag team?
No, this is going to be elimination.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
You know what made me think of it? Halfway, like no sooner she jumped over the guardrail, I said, "Oh my God, she's from Toronto too."
Yes, yeah.
Bingo. So I was like, this makes sense. And then they locked up they met up in the locker room, and then that's where you seen like, okay, we're gonna have a tag team match.
Gotcha.
So okay. I could go with I could do a tag team match that way. I'm cool with that.
Ken, I want to end the WWE segment with you, since the Atomic Drop is back, now coming up there. It'll be myself, you, or Dave, one of the three hopping on. Part-time Marks will be joining us to help us out as well. Ken, how do you see wrestling now, versus 2 or 3 months ago when we had the Atomic Drop every week? How do you see it's changed or evolved or going down a little bit, Ken, in your eyes?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like it was so hot leading into last year's WrestleMania. I mean, like so hot. And the way they came out of WrestleMania, the wrestling was just on fire. It was on fire. But then I felt like it kind of started falling stale. And I don't know if it was injuries or if it was just that lack of the final boss thing and like the whole, bloodline, storyline. Then kind of Cody Rhodes finishing his story. And, then it kind of just, it's all over then. And then it's kind of like, all right, what's next then? It's kind of it feels different in that way, where you don't have that hotness that like leading up to WrestleMania. Like last year, we're on the road to WrestleMania. We are on the road to WrestleMania, and it was so fire all the way through it that you just couldn't wait for it. Now it's kind of like I don't feel the hype that I felt last year at this time, and even a few months ago, it's just kind of like it's. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It definitely does feel different than it did last year. And, a few months ago, it just, because I guess I don't know when was the last time I did a drop. I just, again, I'm crazy busy and just trying to find a time to even watch these shows. So I don't want to come on here if I'm not watching the show and sound like a goofball. And so it's just, I can't do that. And just, it doesn't feel as meaningful almost. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Good. Well, speaking of that, Ken, I know, you do a lot of shows as well. I know you have the Bat Cave on there. Of course, you got to check that out. The Bat Cave OTBS on X. Make sure you follow that. But Ken, I know there's an energy drink out there. I don't know what the hell this is about. Can you explain what the hell this is to people out there?
I can explain. So if you want to help me out, head on over to W Energy Drink. That's at www.w.gg, which makes no sense to me, whatever. I never even heard of a .gg, but it's a real website. So don't, it's some sort of, prince in, Kazakhstan trying to steal my money. No, it's not. It's a W Energy. I've ordered stuff off of there. But they also, join forces with creators and gamers and stuff like that. So right now, currently, I'm drinking. It's a jitterless energy drink. So it doesn't give you the whole heebie-jeebies. Like I used to drink a lot of Monster when I used to work at a steel factory, and I used to down pretty good. And every once in a while, I get the old jitters, the heart palpitations or whatever. With this, you don't get that. Most of it's all natural. So I mean, you look at the ingredients. There's only a couple ingredients in the back, and it's all natural. Coffee fruit extract, whatever the hell that is. And it's phenomenal. Right now, currently, I'm drinking dragon fruit infused with strawberry lemonade flavor, and it's phenomenal. So it's good. Yeah, so check it out at www.w.gg. Use my promo code TheBatCave. It's all one word. You'll get 10% off your order, and just give it a shot. Give it a try. They have sampler packs there and stuff. If you're not sure, get yourself a sampler pack, and it comes with a shaker, and just try it. That's all I can say. That's what I did before I decided to go into business with them. I'm like, I'm going to try it. If it's shit, I ain't going to do it because I don't want to be, peddling shit. And I thought it was pretty good. So they have a ton of different flavors and swag.
There it is. Make sure you're not giving some Indian and Hindu over there, all these Pakistan people and skins that you're giving real money to them. Make sure you promo code BatCave there. And also, real quick, another shout out to the part-time marks. Make sure you check them out every Tuesday night, 10:30 on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Out of the Box. Larry, talk about that real quick. Take about a minute and talk about the part-time marks, man. What are you guys about?
Oh man, the part-time marks. We're every Tuesday. We try to cover everything that Ken can't cover when he's not around. We're just the two regular dudes who think we know everything, but obviously we don't know shit. We're trying to predict everything. We're trying to give you the best of our knowledge. Just two regular guys being ourselves. What we do on a normal text message. Hey man, we're just bringing it live to you, and maybe we're making sense, maybe we're not. That's who we are, the PTM boys.
Hey, that's it. Make sure you check them out, man. The great shows they have me watching NXT. And real quick, guys, if you need a lawyer out there, please call my guy 1-800-HURT-123. Attorney Jason Fine, Big Al, motor vehicle wax, slip and fall, workers' comp, personal injury claims. 3 convenient locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. First in that city that just celebrated with people falling off the poles from Greece, slipping on this, slipping on that. Jason said he got about 100 calls regarding this shit. And only in Philadelphia, of course, 1628 JF Boulevard, Suite 2120. Also in our neck of the woods, Pittsburgh, PA, 500 Grand Street, Suite 2900. And in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 3 Greensboro Lane, Cherry Hill. Make sure you give him a call, 1-800-HURT-123, Jason Fine, and mention Out of the Box Sports. And guess what? It's not 50, it's not 45, it's not 40, it's not 35. It is 33 1/3% guaranteed. No recovery, no fee. You don't win, he don't win. He's Jewish. I'm sorry to say that, but he's Jewish, and he will not take a case unless he gets his damn money. So make sure to reach out to him and make sure you mention Out of the Box Sports Entertainment at 33%, because you are family with us. So, yes. And you know what, Larry, I'm glad you're here because you want to talk about something, Priest and Braun.
Yeah, I didn't want you to forget the real main event last night, though.
Yeah,
Damian Priest, Jacob fight too.
How did I forget about that? I built up the werewolf and I forgot about his ass. Probably because I'm going to have nightmares if I speak about him again.
Oh man. Just real quick though, what a triple threat match. I thought it was gonna start off slow because I know it was like 3 big guys. And obviously that's how they started. But man, once they got going, that was a hell of a match last night. And obviously we got Damian Priest as another member of the chamber too out of the end of that. So, you had Jacob or you had Solo take out Tama Tonga by accident. So there's so many different puzzle pieces spinning that just happened in that main event match last night. It's definitely something we have to keep an eye on for next week too.
Mm-hmm. And just a word of advice to everybody, please don't bet anymore because my UFC ticket just shit the bed. I should have cashed out when I had RoboCop lost in a decision. So, you know what? So, Ken, I'm sorry, I can't use the Batcave promo because I have no money this week.
Well, when you get money, Paul, make sure it's all one word, the Batcave, for 10% off. All one word, no spaces.
That's right. There you go. That's right. One more time, let's go and put it up there and make sure we use the promo code, the Batcave, one word. There you go, to make sure we follow that right there and make sure you check out, that. And we do that. So we support everybody here on the network, no matter what we are, what we do. We're always one family here. So make sure you check it out. So we got about 30 minutes left in the show. Larry, I know you are a resident NXT guy. I want you to take it away with us. This pay-per-view tonight, NXT Vengeance, man. You know, I'm not a big NXT guy, but listen to the part-time marks. You guys got me watching it now. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a 100% fan. I'll be honest with you. I'm about a 70% fan right now going into it. But, Larry, let's talk about the first event. Stephanie Bakure versus Fallon Henley. God, these girls have put on a show.
Yo, that was probably the best match they could have started the show with.
Agree.
Stephanie Bakure's obviously well over with the crowd, you know, and this has only been a few weeks, months with her already. And this is really the first really, really good show, and I got a Fallon Henley. And I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was, if I was going to rate this match, I thought it was a B+ to start the show. It definitely cooked. I seen a lot from Henley. I knew what I was going to get from Bakure, but I seen a lot from Henley tonight to be like, okay, I'm just not a fan of her group. I don't understand the point of her group. But I guess maybe now that she doesn't have a title, they'll do a little more with them a little later on. But I thought that was a B+ opener match. Shawn Michaels really cooked one with that one. They made the right choice. The crowd's obviously already behind Bakure. She was in the Royal Rumble, so they know who she is. She's got a gimmick. She can wrestle. That was a good start to the show.
You said there, you know, Fallon Henley here. Her outside unit there. You know, you're looking like the princess versus the dark side out there. I didn't get, you know, the mediation between both these people, because the princess and the dark side out there. It was like your princess look versus the Gotham look. How do they fit in? It's just a gimmick to get her over the top to help her to move her.
Yeah, because like I said, when I first caught on to really what her thing was, I was just like, okay, so what's the point of the group? But they never fully just explain it. So they were kind of just like her bodyguards for a while there. I guess, like I said, one always has a nose ring on. I've never seen her do anything. I've never actually really seen any of the other two do anything but have a hot entrance. And as you notice, Booker T loses his mind when they all come out. He's like, oh my God, I'm sweating. I'm losing my mind. So I haven't technically figured out what their gimmick is. I'm like, they're like just a bunch of hoes, and I think they're cool. I really don't. I don't get the gimmick, but I would like to see it peel some layers back to see what it is at some point.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd like to see Fallon Henley pull back a couple of layers, because I like to see what's underneath there, man. I'll tell you that. I don't know about the dark side people, but I like what I've seen that ring. And Stephanie, I'll tell you what, man, I call her Big Booty Bailey. Steph has got, you know, packing some in the back too. She's pretty nice looking.
She's pretty thick, boy.
Yeah, thick ain't the word, you know. Ken, what did you think?
Yes, she is thick. Yes.
Word of the night, Stephanie Bakure is thick. Word of the night. Hashtag.
So real quick, I've never seen NXT before. I've never watched NXT before. Never. Okay. This was the first time I've ever watched NXT. Okay. And so when I turned it on, I actually missed this first match, but I watched because I still had a half hour before the start of this show. So I'm like, I'm going to go back and watch that match real quick. And when I first turned it on, I was a little bit confused because I seen Stephanie Bakure and Fallon Henley, and I thought those two chicks on the outside were with Stephanie because they're all wearing black and she's wearing black. I kind of rattled my head. It's like, wait a second, what the hell's going on here? So it doesn't make sense to me. And I definitely I agree with Larry. There has to be something, a story to it. Like, you know, now if they come out and they say they were her bodyguards, that makes a little bit more sense wearing the black, because, you know, when you see a bodyguard, usually they're wearing something monotone or something, you know, like a single color, nothing flashy, because they're bodyguards. And so if that's what the story is, then okay, that makes sense to me. And what does that say?
The Commodore because she's a brick.
Yes, she
brick
is.
House. Yes, she is.
But I tell you what, though, Fallon and Stephanie, they cooked, man. I thought it was a great match. I thought, you know, the way, especially, you know, if I would have seen it to open the show, but yeah, the way to open the show, that was phenomenal, and you get a new champion out of it right away. So I thought it was a great match, and I'm telling you what. After watching this pay-per-view, I'm going to check out a little bit more NXT, especially if Stephanie's going to be on there. If I can somehow get Stephanie and the timeless chick together in a match.
Tony, you like Tony Storm.
Larry, I'm going to drop a little knowledge on you and everybody out there watching right now. I like them thick. So I'm saying that. I'm gonna put it
Not a
out there.
boy. Not a
I'm just gonna
boy.
put it out. Charlotte Flair does nothing for me. I'll just say that.
No, she does. I
Sure,
just
she's a
like
good
her.
wrestler, but
You
She
know what?
is.
Real quick, I don't want to go backwards real quick, but I did have that one of my topics in my head. I want to ask you guys real quick if I could have 2 minutes. I just want 1 minute from each of you regarding this. I'm just going to put it out there. Charlotte Flair right now looks so plastic to me. Number one, like she's on some kind of like roids or something. Number two, and it's all plastic to me. Her face is plastic. Even her body looks plastic to me. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. She is ripped. She is still beautiful, but to me, I'll say it. She looks like Hulk Hogan to me, plastic in ways where I never thought I would say a woman should be looking like that, and they shouldn't like that. I love natural beauty. And what do you think? I mean, do you like the new look, Charlotte? I mean, what is it? I like a little bit thicker Charlotte. You know, this one here where she's sitting down, she's got to pull up her pants because her pants don't even fit. Did you notice that her pants didn't even fit? She's got to pull them up. Like, come on, Charlotte, get a little booty, girl. Come on, make him happy. Be thick again. You know, at least try to be thick.
Sir, I am a true black man. She is way too skinny for me. She's like the same size as a pixie stick. I'm not I've seen pixie sticks just a little bit thicker than Charlotte. I don't understand what she's doing to herself. I don't know if she's going through a crisis or because she's going through another divorce. This is like her fifth one.
Oh, her Andre's done? Andrade?
Yeah, they just announced it like within like a week or so ago.
Damn.
So I don't know if she's going through some phase or I just don't know what it is. But you're right. She's looking more and more like her a cross between her dad and Hogan. And it's not a good thing, at all. Like you said, her pulling her pants up, it's like, my goodness, yeah, because it didn't look good at all at Royal Rumble. The only thing that looked good was just her coming back. But I was like watching her in the ring, and I'm like, ugh, this ain't it. This ain't it.
What's your thoughts?
I just like it looks like she had plastic surgery on her face. Like she doesn't look like, I don't know. It's just something that looks awful, especially with her face to me and her body wise. I was thinking about this when I first seen her come back. I'm like she doesn't look almost like she's obviously she's ripped, so she's healthy, but she doesn't look healthy. Like I wonder if she went through some sort of medical or mental issue where she lost a ton of weight and she had no weight to lose to begin with. And that made it look worse than what it is. And like somebody that loses weight too quick, you don't have the right size pants. I mean, that's kind of where I'm going through now. I'm down 95 pounds, and my pants don't. I got stupid belts on, and I hate wearing belts, and my pants look stupid on me. But it's just she doesn't look healthy to me. Like again, she's ripped. Obviously, she's healthy. She's an athlete. But she doesn't look good. I don't know. And she's never had any hips. She's never had any hips. But she looked healthier when she was a little bit thicker. She just doesn't look good. She doesn't look. No. It doesn't look natural.
No. I agree. Eddie says the best Charlotte ever looked when she was NXT before the plastic surgeries that she had. I agree. I want to move on from it, but I just want to get you guys to the point because we're talking about thick versus anorexic is what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
When a woman comes on there in a promo, you got to pull your pants up before you speak. That's something that I don't want to see. I mean, God-given talent, but still.
Like Larry said, or Larry's over here. Larry, he's a true black man. I am a true black man at heart when it comes to thickness. So I'm telling you right now.
Hey, Asians like I love rice, and I like women that eat rice and beans too. So I like them thick as well too. Asian guys love Asian loves thick women too. But let's move on to the next one: men's tag team, Frazier versus Axum, and Briggs versus Inamura. How did you guys see this? Because I thought this was actually the match of the night to me. This was. I love how these dudes move. That dude Inamura, I've never seen him wrestle before. I know the gimmick that he had. The storyline with Briggs. But this dude, man, I almost wet myself when I see him do that sumo spear. That to me, oh my God, I started laughing when I seen this.
Yeah, he's a newer guy to me too. I've liked Briggs for a while now. But he just seemed like he was like missing something. He always seems like he's missing something. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a super big guy. Obviously, he's moving like those smaller guys too. He was actually doing well tonight. Like I said. I always say the other guys the Japanese. He's not his name wrong, but I was like, man, some of the flare chops he's doing. The only thing I don't like is his finisher. It just seems like it takes way too long. He's going up there and he's bouncing.
Yeah, Larry, what was that? What was that move? Because that whole fucking stadium was shaking when because he missed the first one. He got knocked off the first one. I'm thinking like, oh, I want to see this. I've never seen this. What is he about to do?
Well, it's just a splash.
Yeah, I seen it at the very end. He did that. Like,
yeah,
he's going to be like Logan Paul and fly across the ring on the other side. I was like, this son of a bitch is 300 pounds. If he's going to do that, this is my new favorite wrestler.
Yeah, he's definitely athletic. Like I said, this is probably the second, maybe third time I've seen him because they were just starting to build this tag team, a new tag team phase in NXT. So, but Axiom and Frazier, I mean, you can't go wrong with those guys, man.
Yeah,
they're going over. They've been going over TNA, having great matches with people over there. I think they've been tag champs again. Maybe the second or third time they've been tag champs. So I don't know if they're ready to move up to the main roster yet, or they just don't feel like they have a solid team to let them go up yet. Because I mean, every match they have is boom, 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 and they don't miss a spot.
Gotcha.
So I'm really, really in the they're going to be big on the main roster, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah, I seen this on last night. I mean, watching it tonight, I thought they would be moving up pretty quick. Ken, what did you see?
I didn't see the match, so I didn't see anything. So that's right. I kind of go with that. I don't know how I missed it. I thought I went back and I caught all the matches then, but I did not see this one. So my comments are still with the thick ladies. So that's where I was thinking.
Well, it was another, in my opinion, it was another B plus. I think back-to-back matches was B plus matches. I very impressed to get the show started. I mean, it definitely had me on the edge of my seat right away. Because sometimes earlier in the show, I might like doze off just a little bit. I'll be listening, but there was so much going on. I was like, yeah, this is my style of tag team match. Like no bullshit. Let's get to it.
Yeah, it was a good match. I mean, I enjoyed it. You know, I've never seen Amir fight before. Briggs, man, he reminds me like of a Braun Strowman type dude. You know, but he's more athletic. Where just like you said, Larry, you know, his moves, he can move around a lot like the younger guys, the smaller guys. I thought it was a good match. I give it a solid B plus as well. We'll move on to this one here. Eddie Thorpe beats Trick Williams. Larry, I'll start with you here. You know, all I'm going to say is, whoop that trick. What is that first? What does that mean, Larry?
Well, you know, obviously, whoop that trick. You know, this goes back for years now. This goes back to what's that movie? What was that movie? I forget what that movie was where they originally were doing that. Whoop that trick.
I don't remember what that was, honestly.
But I know 3-6 Mafia had something. It was that. Well, I forget what movie that was there. But Trick Williams, Eddie Thorpe. This was my downfall match of the night. It just wasn't. I thought they were going to do a strap match where, you know, you have to drag the person around and tag the corners.
Hustle and flow, Larry. Hustle and flow.
Hustle and flow. There it goes. Yeah. So, obviously, Trick is who he is. His music gets cracking. The whole crowd's involved in it. He's obviously going to be your top guy down there. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. All his matches just don't impress me that well. I love Trick to death. It just seems like there's always these big builds, and then his matches are just blood to me. I don't understand why Eddie Thorpe hasn't done anything yet for me. Just I see how they're trying to push him into the bigger picture. So he obviously has something that they like. He just, bleep Eddie Thorpe. I just wasn't liking it either. I honestly, out of all the matches, this was probably my downfall match of the night. I like the traditional strap match where you have to tag the corners. And I even like the one that CM Punk and them had where they had like
the lights on the corner, yeah.
Lights on the corner. It kind of just added a little pizzazz to it, but maybe they didn't want to do that to take away from crowd vision. Because I noticed it was a smaller arena tonight. But Eddie Thorpe got the win. I guess that's because they do want to start pushing him. Trick doesn't need it. So it was kind of like a C- match for me. That just wasn't the type of strap match I wanted to see.
Okay, Mr. Nickel.
Yeah, usually strap matches are a lot of fun. I wasn't really into it either. I lost interest in it. I was messing around with the boy then, and my little guy. And I thought Trick Williams was on the main roster. That's why I was kind of surprised to see him, the whole whoop that trick thing. And I thought he was on the main roster. And then, obviously you haven't seen him there in how long. So I forgot about him because I don't watch NXT. And to see him down in NXT still, I was a little bit surprised. So maybe he was just up, for a couple little spots. And I thought he was on the main roster. But again, not being really familiar with Eddie Thorpe, I think, I could take it or leave it. I'm with Larry again. I like the strap matches where you got to touch the corners. The lights, whatever, that doesn't bother me. But I understand why you have the lights, for the corners and stuff. That makes sense. But it's I'm always down for a good strap match, and I just didn't feel it. It's just whether it's Trick and Eddie don't flow, or it's Trick just doesn't. The crowd is with him, obviously, or he just doesn't. He doesn't perform. I don't know. I don't know what to call with it. I don't know.
That's how I feel about it. I felt like that ever since he won the title from Mello before Mello moved up.
Yeah.
Once he won that, even when he won that title match, what was that, last year? Right, WrestleMania weekend, and it just felt like that match fell kind of flat. Then a couple other matches just didn't seem like it was it. So then it seemed like they took the belt away from him to try to build it back up. And then he got it again. And I don't know what Trick is missing. Because like one of my buddies texted me, he was like, I really like Trick, but I feel like something's not there. And I'm like, man, I've been trying to figure it out too. I was like, I just think it's when he has his bigger style matches. I just think they fall a little flatter than what they think.
Gotcha. Yeah,
like I said, it caught me off guard by him losing by his own finisher too tonight. That just didn't.
I was watching the match. I wasn't really into this match here. It was just like, okay. Yeah, after watching the first two, Stephanie win, and of course, XCM and Frazier win there. I'm like watching this match. I'm like, this is like okay, whatever. Okay.
This is a cool down.
Yeah, cool down match. But let's go to the next match here. Now, this one I actually liked here. I mean, this was an athletic match to me. Ethan Page defeats Javon Evans. I tell you what, I'll just first start off. I thought Javon Evans' ankle broke when he got the in between the steel steps, and the ring there. When he pushed that thing, I felt my ankle snap a little bit. I really did. And then at the very end, when he got that punch and his mouthpiece flew out of the damn ring. And I don't know if that camera was just painting on it, like it was this perfect view of the outcast of where that son of a bitch fell. And then the hit, I'm like, I was like, oh my God, I just felt that too. Because I just had implants put in about 4 months ago. I had 3 implants put in my mouth, and I know the pain. And I was like, holy shit, I felt that too. Like, I give these dudes credit, man. I've never seen Ethan Page before. I know who he is, but this match really was an athletic match. I really enjoyed this match. I really did.
Oh, again, Ethan Page, he comes from AEW. He was somebody who just wasn't being used properly. Somebody with a good look, great microphone skills. It told a wonderful story tonight because, the match was based around him breaking his jaw.
Yeah.
But he worked the ankle the whole time. So they flipped the whole, scenario of the match to him attacking the ankle. Which, I mean, and like you said, Evans doesn't miss a spot. He's so good, with the ropes, his athletic ability. I mean, he's going to be something special. Even with him being that small, I think when he eventually gets up to the main roster, I don't know how they'll work him, but he's going to be something super special. And Page, he's going to be a top star in probably the next 2 or 3 years. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, and yeah, that was definitely another. There you go again. The cards going back up.
Definitely
B+ match.
Mm-hmm. Ken, what do you think about this one?
Super athletic. I really liked it. Again, not knowing these guys. Mm-hmm. I liked how the announcers kind of gave you a little bit of a backstory as the match started. Like, Ethan Page broke Javon Evans' jaw. That's why he has the mouthpiece in. If he gets hit in that face, the doctor said, he may never wrestle or speak or eat, steak again or something, whatever they're saying. So, so you're kind of waiting for that shot. And then, with the ankle, the one thing I didn't like was Javon Evans was the selling of the ankle. Like, he'd sell it but then he's running and jumping up on the ropes and jumping off and doing
Yeah.
some crazy stuff. Then he's selling it again. It's like, dude, come on, man, stick with the sell. But I get it, because if you take that away from him, then you lose all that athletic ability, and that's what hypes the crowd up, and that's always fun to watch. Like, I get it, but being a little bit of an old school guy,
and that's his whole move. That's his whole move set, is going from everywhere.
So you take away that, then you take away the match, basically. So I get why you don't take it away, why you don't sell it, but you can't sell it and then not sell it, then sell it again. I mean, like there's ways around it, but I would have rather he not sell it at all. Like, okay, yeah, it hurt. He limped around for a second or two, and then stopped selling. But then he sold it again. Then he didn't sell. Then he sold it again. That's kind of took me away from it. But I thought it was a great match, and I dug the way it finished too. When with going through the air, getting, what was it? Did he get punched? Yeah, he got punched in the mouth. The mouthpiece went flying, like Paul said. It was almost like a perfect angle, because you see that the mouthpiece landed. You can see like the whole carnage there. And then at the very end of it, when they showed Javon on the ground, with blood coming out of his mouth and stuff, I thought it was great. I thought great storytelling there. And it leads to the next step. What's wrong with you? Is Javon gonna be able to wrestle again? Is his jaw jacked that much where he can't kiss no more or whatever? Who knows? So it's a great match. I'm excited to see more of Ethan Page and Javon Evans. I think they're both phenomenal athletes and really good in the ring.
Yeah, I know where I'll be Tuesday night. It's 8:00, right, Larry? NXT.
You know it.
Then I can hop, listen to the part-time market.
And he likes thick women. You better tell him about all the thick women on.
Oh, Ken, Ken, I'll tell you a little backstory, Ken. When I was at the hotel, up where my house is being rebuilt, I was trying to host one of the shows for Larry up there, a part-time Marks. And the first thing I said is, what was my girl's name? Oh my God, Larry, what was her name? The white girl with the big booty. Lola.
Lola Vice.
Lola Vice has some Vice scripts in the back. I'm going to tell you right now, Ken. If you like thick girls, you like the Rhea. I'm talking like Nia. You need to watch NXT. Ken, I'm telling you, just good Lord have mercy. There's at least 5 or 6 thick Johns on there.
They're like Jiffy peanut butter thick.
I like peanut butter too. I eat a lot of peanut butter now too. So
man,
yeah.
The women on NXT are. This is why they call Shawn Michaels the Heartbreak Kid. He is finding some of the best women on the planet down there. You'll turn it on like, I can't believe there's another one. I can't believe there's another one. I mean, there's Jada Parker, Lola Vice, Lash Legend. She's huge. That's Trick Williams' girlfriend. Oh man, there is a host of women down there. You can't even keep up with them. Nikita Lyons.
Oh, she's
a different type of thick. She's a monster thick.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Larry? How about we flip it to the opposite of the male version thing called ripped. The man himself. Let's talk about Obi Femi retains his title versus Theory, and of course Ken. What is he called? What does Waller call it again?
The douchebag from down under.
Okay, because I was going to call him the Kangaroo Jackass.
I call him the douchebag from down under. Kangaroo Jackass is the other name that we keep here on the Atomic Drop podcast.
Yes, let's talk about this because this was a good comical match versus a lot of strength in this, a little good storyline. I'll let you guys talk about this first because I like watching Theory and Waller in the ring together. I don't care what people say. I know we make fun of them, but man, they are great together, man. Regardless of if they're fighting each other, beefing with each other, or helping each other. I love these two together. Ken, I'll let you start because we go back a long way with the Waller effect. So let you talk about it.
The A-Train dummies, yeah. I can't tell you how disappointed I was to see them come on my screen. Like, there's those douchebags again. They're back. Oh man, I thought they were gone. No, but seriously, because they are. Damn it, I can't believe I'm going to say it. They are good together. They are funny. They do a good job on the mic. They do a good job in the ring. But I hate that Waller. I hate Grayson Waller with a passion. I don't know what it is. And this is my first introduction to Obi Femi, and I dug it, man. They build him as a kind of like an overpowering monster type, and I really dug it. The dude is super strong, great strong skill set, and he's athletic. And I was happy to see Waller go through a couple tables. And I also like it every time he'd go through a table is when you would have Austin Theory go for a pinfall, and then you see Theory or Waller get it like, what the hell, dude? In that stupid Australian accent he has. and not a beautiful one like Rhea. He has a terrible one that's manly, you know. So but yeah, Obafemi was awesome. I really like Obafemi as well, and you know he retains as your NXT champ, and it was a really good match, and I don't know what was going on there at the end. I again, me being new to it, I'm like, it was almost kind of like a Shield / original NXT Nexus kind of ripoff thing looking there. I really don't know what's going on at the end. Maybe Larry, you can fill me in and fill whoever has never seen NXT and what the hell was going on at the end.
Yeah, explain that too, because I was kind of confused.
Well, I'll get to that. First, I want to start off. Yeah, you guys called it Theory and Waller. I love those guys. They're they mesh together well. Like you said, they've been doing this for a year now. We're gonna break up. No, we're not gonna break up. You can't break them up.
Yeah,
they're comedic geniuses together. First thing I'll say is I noticed on the pre-show, Waller walked into the building with the same book that AJ Brown was sitting on the sideline.
Guy.
I was watching the pre-show and I'm like, I know that isn't the book of inner excellence. I was like, that's funny because I'm like Austin Theory like smacked it out of his hand. Like, man, what are you doing? And I'm like, I was like, that's great. But going into the match, like you said, Obafemi, I knew from the minute we seen he walked on the scene, that's your future world heavyweight champion. But like you said, great match. There was only one downfall match of the night, and this definitely wasn't it. You got what you thought. You know, you're gonna get them two going back and forth. Obviously, you assumed Obafemi was gonna retain, but the match was phenomenal. Like you said, the table spots, him just throwing grown men like they're small guys. Because you know, obviously, he went to Alabama and he did the shot put thing. Isn't that what they call it in the Olympics, where you hold the medal, or you know what I mean? So I mean, that's where all that strength comes from. And obviously, if he went to Alabama, you know he's super strong. Man, that would, for that style of match again, I thought that was we had a B+ match, just based on and then the ending was so good there, where you know he went in for his flipping stunner thing. Their moves are really good too, and that's another thing about Theory and Waller is their selling makes their stuff better. It's just not even them; it's how they take these moves. Every time Theory takes a stunner, he shoots back like The Rock. You know what I mean?
Larry, thank you for saying that, because I was going to mention that. Like, Oscar of the night goes to Theory. That jump when he hit the ground off that stunner, my man flipped upside down, like rolled over, like. My God, like that's what it feels like. Like he sold that like crazy. He really did.
Yeah, he took like a few months ago. He took like a stunner and then a RKO or something, and he shot like out the ring. He doesn't miss with his selling. Yeah, they're just a comedic crew, and I get why people's always like, I don't like them, but they're another team that you can always rely on them to put somebody over. And yeah, that was another B+ match. But going into your question about the only character that I knew who that was during that dark stage thing was Dion Lennox. Now I haven't seen him here in a few weeks, and he was actually the last guy they panned the camera to. So I couldn't tell you who the other three guys are. I was kind of like, is this a Nexus thing? Is this I actually had no idea what was going on either. So I couldn't even give my expert opinion on it, other than I only knew who one of the characters were at the time. Apologize, my hiccups is going crazy again. But yeah,
that's the Grayson Waller effect, brother. I'm just letting you know.
Man, I'll have these things for 2 hours, guys. It's totally it's totally unreal on what I go through with hiccups. I'm like, nobody else in the world goes through them. But yeah, so I guess that's going to be something that cooks a little more. It kind of looked like a Nexus thing that they didn't get too carried away with. So I think maybe by next Tuesday we're going to start to figure out what that was.
Before we move on to the next event, is there a beef between the Kangaroo Jackass and Austin Theory here? Is it a sell job? What is it? Because there was a point where I was like, holy shit, is Theory really going to win this 1, 2, 3? Kangaroo pulls the ref out of the ring on 2. I'm like, well, then the look on their faces, like you said, Ken, the looks of these guys on their faces between the Australian look, like, it wasn't me, mate, like shit like that. Like one of those, that sells it. Like we said, the Oscar goes to, both these guys really, co-actor, supporting actor, either way you want to look at it. But what do you go from here? Because the sell job was insane with these guys. What happens next with, A-Town down on NXT? Because this can't be over. You know what I mean? It can't be over on NXT with these guys.
I think
anytime. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Larry.
You first, Ken. You go ahead.
All right. Whoever's going to need, an enhancement, a good match. Whoever needs a good match, that's where A-Town's going to be. Like if hey, we need to show that this tag team, can really go. What are we going to do? Oh, let's throw A-Town in there. They'll have a great match and, really enhance, enhancement talent, enhance this tag team and make them look, shine them up a little bit, or even another 3-way. I'd probably be a little bit before they have another 3-way, but you know what I mean? Like so there's going to be a tag team that's going to need to be shined up a little bit, and they'll stick A-Town douchebag unders, in there with them, and they'll shine them up and they'll make them look really good. And maybe they beat them the first time and they have like another match after that and shines them up. But you know what I mean? It's because they're going to throw them a bone every once in a while. A-Town, they're not going to keep losing, but they're going to continue shining the other talent up. That's just that's their job basically, and that's what they're good at. They're good at they get themselves over because they are funny and they are good in the ring, but they get the other team or the other person over even more by just being that good. So that's what I think is next for them. That's
yeah. And I think they'll probably just move back to Raw because it seems like Raw is like slacking more on the tag team side. Because right now SmackDown, it seems like they got a core with the Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, Los Gaza. I want to say they have about 4 or 5 solid teams over there right now. Raw's kind of lacking, so they got like the War Raiders, who are the champs. They just had a great match with the Creed brothers on Raw. So you could probably fit A-Town down back over there because, I think you can continue to carry the tag team titles with the War Raiders over there because they are so good. It just seems like they're always sort of lacking something too, and it's probably just they're lacking opponents. So you put A-Town down over there, that gives them somebody else that they could work with for a couple shows. So I don't think that they're drowning yet, and I don't think they're going to stay on NXT too long. I think it was just something to carry over.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the main event. Julia Routine versus Bailey Jade and Roxanne Perez. This was a great match. There was a lot of points in this match where I was like, wow, the women's division in NXT is really something that is going to be built for the future. We already seen I believe Julia was in the Royal Rumble, correct, Larry?
Yes, Julia was in the Rumble.
And Roxanne Perez as well.
Roxanne, yep, and
Cora
Jade. Cora Jade she's been actually going over to TNA and helping over there. So she's been getting more of her work over there recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's absolutely right there.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But
this match was insane. Go ahead, Larry. You started off.
Oh yeah, fatal 4-ways. They can be hard to do. Sometimes they like to separate people, so everybody's doing solo spots. But that isn't what they did tonight. They took it old school. They let everybody cook tonight. I thought that. It was definitely a damn good way to close the show out. Obviously, when me and Kurt talked about it on Tuesday, that we said we assumed Julia was going to retain. Bailey was there to kind of, she was the guard dog. She was making sure, everything was fought into place right. Yeah. Obviously, Jade, she's more the newer one, but I think I like her. I'm starting to try to figure out if I like her or not. I'm going to need to see a little bit more, but obviously Roxanne Perez, she's pretty much on her way to the main roster, and she's going to be a superstar, as we can see that she lasted that long in the Rumble. I'm going to give this match an A. I'm going to grade this one on the curve a little bit.
Okay. Ken, I mean, there really was no thick girls except for Big Booty Bailey here, but
Well,
how
he
do you
said
feel about
curve,
this
and that's where my mind went. So, but yeah, it was a good match. And like his fatal four ways can get sticky. And usually the simple formula is it starts with all four. Two of them get knocked out, then you have two in the ring. They wrestle it off a little bit. They get knocked out, and then you have the other two come in, or somebody else comes in and somebody else goes out. And that's usually the simple formula to it. But they did a little bit of that, but they also let each of them really get the spotlight for a bit, with all four girls in the ring. So I thought it was well done. It was well done, and I really liked what Larry said about Bailey being the kind of the guard dog in there. I didn't think of it like that until he said that. Yeah, that's kind of what she did in there. You didn't think Bailey was going to win, and so my thought was, not knowing the lead up to this, was how does she figure into this? But it makes a lot of sense when you look at it like that. Like kind of like the guard dog in there. She was the old head, and the announcer said a bunch of times about it being what was it, the four generations, or not generations, but you know what I mean, like the different season type wrestlers in there. Yeah, you had Bailey there 13 years or whatever it was. Then you had Roxanne Perez, and I think Cora Jade were the 2.0, and they said Julia was the new one. And Julia's name messes with my head. I can't handle it. Calling her Julia and seeing a G there and an extra I, it freaks me out a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, it was a great match. And I tell you what, that women's division down in NXT is no joke. It really is no joke. All those girls can go. They all look great. They all appear to have decent gimmicks. So I mean, and I only seen a couple of them. You guys were talking about a bunch of different ones. I'm excited to check out a little bit more NXT and see what they got going on down there, what they're cooking.
Yeah. And Larry, what you said, Brooke, I'm sorry, what you said about Bailey being like the guard dog in there, because there was a couple incidents when I seen Bailey in the ring. She did a couple slides, and it looked like she was making a move, but she backed off. It looked like the timing was off. I think it was what she's used to, being on the top roster versus the undercard. I want to say undercard of NXT level. There was a couple scenarios in there where Bailey was ahead of the game a little bit, but the game was a little bit behind her, steps. I did see that quite a few times, but I tell you what, I like how even they had Jade and Perez collaborate a little bit, the front, the collab there. Then all of a sudden they had their moments where they went after each other. And, even the slap in the face to me, like when Jade slapped Perez, I'm like, oh shit, it's on now. Okay, now we're about to get down to it. And then Perez, going back, Bailey being like the guard dog, with everybody with the beef. She even had a couple collabs in there as well. Which the storyline continues, like who's going to help who's going to flip on who's going to help or whatever. But I tell you what, I something to me about Roxanne Perez, man. I didn't think she was going to win tonight because Julia, she's how long she had it, Larry? Not that long, correct?
No, 2 months maybe, if that. 2 months,
okay. Yeah, I didn't see her losing it tonight, but Roxanne Perez, man, I mean, ever since the day she got in the ring with CM Punk and said, I've always looked up to you, even the AJ Lee thing, to me, it just sees her on the main roster pretty damn quick. And just like you said, lasting that long in her first Royal Rumble appearance on the main roster, she's going to be something, man. Like, she reminds me of the type of like Alexis Bliss building a body type that can carry over because she has the mic, she has the skills, and she has the appearance that can sell a crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. At first I wasn't so sold on her because I'm like, they're gonna make this girl a major heel. She's too small. But the more and more I started to watch it, I'm like, she'll absolutely probably be on the main roster. Yeah, he's probably absolutely right. Within the next week or so. I think this was her final hurrah. And that was another thing about this match too. Going back to Bailey being the ring general in this whole situation. I think this is stuff Bailey wanted to do too, because they're going back to, these girls are girls who like took pictures and hugged Bailey a long time ago.
Yeah.
So she's kind of spinning the block back to do a favor for these girls. Like, you paid for a picture with me. You really wanted to meet me and hug me and all this, and you got to do that. Now here's your dream, is I'm going to give back to you by letting you getting in the ring with you guys. So I think that's really, really big on Bailey's behalf. And like you said, Roxanne, she'll end up as a big time baby face at some point, because being on the main roster, she's going to be small. You know what I mean? And you're only going to have so many girls that you can make major heels being that size. But obviously, she knows how to play both roles, so she's going to be a big time star. I think all of them are at some point going to be super big time stars. They're really lining up the future for something special.
Gotcha. Well, guys, before we get out of here, I just want to make sure everybody out there follows Out of the Box Sports on YouTube, X, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, wherever we're at, we're out there. And as Larry, we joked around on the last show, we're probably going to be on OnlyFans coming up in the next 3 or 4 weeks. We're still trying to get a contract out there. I just got a pedicure and a manicure on my feet and hands. So, look for our hands and everything to be on there. So
yeah, send me an email. Send me an email.
Exactly, right. And also, Ken, make sure you check out Ken on Out of the Box OTBSE, the Batcave on Axe right there. And of course, Ken, one more time, what's that promo code?
The promo code is the Batcave, all one word, no spaces, all one word for 10% off your order at W Energy. So check it out.
There we go. And Larry, make sure you check out the Part-Time Marks every Tuesday night, 10:30 on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Part-Time Marks on Facebook as well. So make sure you do that. And guys, last but not least, if you're interested in becoming a show host on Sports and Entertainment, reach out to one of us here, myself, Ken, Larry, all one of our hosts out there. We'll make it happen. We promise you. All we do is have fun here. If you don't like it, it's not for you. That's fine. But if you want to do it, you ever thought about doing it, ask Ken. Ken was the most quiet person I ever met on his very first show. Now I can't get him to shut up,
It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It just keeps talking.
He never mentioned he liked thick women. Now he don't shut up about thick women. See, that's how it goes on Out of the Box. We have fun here. So just make sure you reach out to us as well. Ken, I know there's going to be a change on this week's schedule, guys. So Ken, can you talk about your change on your schedule?
Yeah, so Thursday, I was supposed to do the Silver and Black Lair LA Kings at 9 a.m. I will be doing that now Friday at noon because I will be having a special guest, co-editor from the Hockey News, LA Kings, beat reporter Connor Doyle. He'll be on with me at noon on Friday, and we'll be talking Kings as it's way past second half of the season, but as the second half of the season kicks off for the Kings after the Four Nations tournament here. So I'll be talking with Connor Doyle noon on Friday.
There you go, guys. So it's going to be a change. We'll make an updated schedule for that as well. Please check out the Sully Squad, 6 p.m., rising high off that Eagles parade. I don't know if Joe's sober yet, coming off that Eagles parade down in Philadelphia, so make sure you check them out. Also, Silver and Black, 9 a.m., Commanders, Gridiron, Part-Time Marks, the Bat Cave, and the 215 boys will be back. Oh, guys, that is a show you do not want to miss this because Dave and I don't know if Dave's going to go off, but I would definitely be going off about this Cowboys off-season move, the hiring of dummy versus dummy that we have. So make sure you tune into that, of course, because I don't know what the hell we're doing anymore. And, guys, anything else we want to talk about before we get out of here? Because it's been one hell of a show. Ken, I am glad to be by your side again, man. I missed you. You're like a brother that I know will have my back, not like my buddy Dave, who will just let me get my ass kicked. So – Ken, I'm glad to have you back, brother. Hope all is well with the family, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, everything's awesome. It's great to be in the fire. It's great to see Larry again too. And I wish Kurt was here with us as well as Dave and all them guys. Next time. But real quick, the one thing from NXT, Jordan Grace. What thoughts on that? Her at the end there, walking in the ring, kind of looking all muscular and intimidating, but awkward in the same sense. So, real quick, Larry, what was your thoughts on Jordan Grace making her appearance there, confronting Julia with a G?
Well, I don't like my women that thick. That's a different type of thick. I would have put that out there first. She's a little too thick for me. Obviously we knew she was coming, but is she looking at the North American title? Or is she going to try to go is she going to try to go to the top? I mean, obviously, we've seen her in the Rumble twice now. So, I mean, you're probably right. Probably her and Julia. But, man, I don't know if they want to do that right away because Julia just got cooking. So, I'm like, man, they kind of threw me off with that. I'm like, wow, she's coming out saying, I want in the title picture. And Stephanie Vicure just won. Julia just basically, this is what her second title defense, maybe third. So I'm like, I have no idea where they're going with this, but I know everybody loves Jordan Grace. I know she's big. I mean, they love her, and you know what I mean. You hear the crowd reaction. So it's gonna. I guess we'll see again on Tuesday. I guess I'll have to mark about it.
Yeah, I know I'll be marking with you. I'll be waiting to hear what you guys say because I know I'm going to be watching some Thickums on Tuesday night. I know that for
that's
sure.
just the facts.
But I know your co-partner, Kurt. I know his ears just popped up when you said Jordan Grace because I know that's his girl. That is his girl. He don't shut up about that girl. I'll tell you that. We know that for sure. But before we get out of here, Ken, when's the next time you're going to be on so they can see, Mr. Ken Fry, the Batcave, the Batman himself?
Tuesday morning, Silver and Black Lair talking Raiders, Raiders edition, Silver and Black Lair. You see it behind me there, Silver and Black Nation. Check it out. And of course, Wednesday morning, 9 a.m., the Batcave talking New York Mets baseball. And like I mentioned, Friday noon, the Silver and Black Lair, LA Kings with Connor Doyle. So you got plenty of opportunity. And hopefully next Saturday night, back to the Atomic Drop, the way it's meant to be. Wrestling, right? I missed it. I'm excited to be back on here. So
glad to have you back. You're making our job a little easier now that you're back.
He makes my job so much easier, put it that way. So much easier. So do you, Larry. Larry, before we get out of here, when's the next time you're on, my good friend?
You know it. It's that 10:30 spot every Tuesday night. My man, Kurt McGurk, he loves Tuesdays. You know where to catch us. We'll be right after NXT. Me, Kurt, and whoever else wants to join along and talk about the thick women of NXT, the new superstars coming up. And it's always a good time when it's me, Kurt, and whoever joins us.
And my next time will be, coming back this year is the 215 boys after a losing season. I want to say not a losing season. I want to say a debacle of a 7-10 season where
throw it away.
Disappointment versus disappointment versus disappointment. So let's get your popcorn ready, sit back, put your feet up because it is going to be a one hell of a venting fest. I might have to call Dr. Phil after the show, so make sure you tune in there. But if you want to see the bright side, make sure you check out my co-host Dave, who it's okay, guys. We'll be okay. We're not going to be okay as Cowboy fans. We know that. But real quick before we get out here, I do want to say one more thing because, here at Out of the Box, we have fun. We're family. But it's just about the facts. I mean, that word sticks in my mind, the facts. About the facts. Larry, what do we talk about when we say the facts? What do we mean when we talk about the facts?
When we say just the facts, we all know that's my original brand from when I was doing indie wrestling. But when we're talking about the facts on this channel, we're talking about hopefully a new podcast coming soon, Just the Facts podcast. We're going to be bringing on some indie wrestlers, a lot of guys I know from the indies and maybe even some guys I don't know, but we're going to get familiar with. And we're going to try to bring them along so a lot of people get to know who's going to be possibly in AEW soon, in NXT soon. I know a lot of guys on the wave out here, so we'd like to bring them along so we can introduce them to you guys so you know who they are before they hit the main stage, before they're worth a lot of money. So you can say, hey, I know that guy. And you'd be like, hey, I introduced you to him. That's what Just the Facts is going to be about. I have some great guests for these guys.
So make sure you stay tuned out of the box. That's why we ask you to subscribe to all of our shows, our channels out there, our Facebook page. We give you all the schedules out there to make sure, because if you want to talk the Mets, the Raiders, the Kings, the Cowboys, the Eagles, we got you covered. WWE, NXT, we got everything. Indie wrestling. Because I know one of your guests already lined up for is the Black Dahlia. She's going to be hopping on in a couple of weeks, one of your episodes as well. So make sure you check out all of our shows. And we'll be back next Saturday here to talk about it. 9 p.m. Saturday night. We'll talk about it. We also have a different revolving, crew of members here talking about it. We'll keep you in tune. Keep you, hopefully, just keep you entertained because that's what we are, sports entertainment.
Are you entertained?
Are you entertained? We might not be the kangaroo jackass, but I try to be comical when I can. So Ken, you ready to get out of here? Leigh, you ready to get out of here?
I'm ready. We can call it a night, guys. It was great.
All right, guys. For myself, Paul Spencer, the Bat Fry, Ken Fry. My friends call me Black Lightning himself. Guys, we're out here. This is the Atomic Drop, and we'll see you next Saturday night at 9 p.m. Until then, have a great weekend and stay safe.